Welcome to another episode. We are back in the building. Y'all, thank you so much for all the love you gave the last episode, man. I could go on and on. Anyway, man, you tuned into
MSR, baby.
Yeah, Adam Butler, Paul Spann.
Black Man Spann in the building.
Smooth is in the building.
Here we go.
LT is in the building.
What up?
Behind the scenes, on the behind the scenes. But people like that, by the way. They like the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I think they just like me.
They might just like you, bro. Listen, you
Possibility.
You don't like
Ladies love LT.
Ladies love LT, man.
Hey,
He
man.
like
LT.
man. LT's, I mean, you know, I can't hate on that.
Right.
Why would I hate on that? You know what I'm saying? Tune in for LT. Join the Patreon for LT.
If anything else.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Join our Patreon. Shouts out to all of the Patreon members. Shouts out to everybody, and shouts out to our sponsors for hooking up the Patreon members. You guys are dope. Remember, if you watch it on YouTube, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. All of that stuff, it helps the algorithm. And shouts out to everybody that subscribed to the channel so far. Follow us, MSR Tribe, on Instagram, MSR Pod, on TikTok. All right? We're going to jump right into it because we got a big topic to talk about, and it's just the fellas this week for this portion. And I thought this was something that we could really get into. So, LT, what's the topic of the day?
And just assume they're going to be okay because they've been running the world and, you know, they've got all the advantages relative to the girls, and all of which has historically been true in all kinds of ways. But precisely because of that, if you're not thinking about what's happening to boys and how are they being raised, then that can actually hurt women. And I would argue that some of the broad political trends we've seen, not just in this country, but around the world, have to do with this sense of, you know, boys, men not feeling as if they are seen, feeling as if they count. And that then makes them more interested in appeals by folks who say, you know what, the reason you don't feel respected is because women have been doing this, or this group has been doing this, or that group's been doing this.
So we're going to talk today about Obama was on Michelle Obama's podcast. The Obamas were on the podcast. And Obama was talking a lot about the young male voters out there and how they feel like they're unheard and just, you know, what they have been talking about. So let's speak upon that.
Yeah, man. So this is something that I found and I thought was interesting, and it goes to something we talked about in episode 1, something Smooth brought up actually in episode 1. And we touched on it slightly. We were talking about gender roles, so we didn't really get too far into this, but I remember when you brought up, and you hinted at like black male loneliness and male loneliness, which is a thing. And the male loneliness epidemic, which is a real thing, not only impacts us socially, but it is impacting us politically. We saw, and President Obama mentioned it, that a lot of men, I keep wanting to say black men, but a lot of men were hesitant to vote a certain way. They were swayed to vote a certain way for very emotional reasons. And I'm not saying that's right. Well, I don't agree with it, but I'm not here holding judgment. This conversation is really not about being a judgment of it. It's really getting to the bottom of it. And I'll say one more thing before I jump to you, P, and you get your thoughts. Part of the reason why I personally, we made a group decision to bring the podcast back. But one of the reasons I personally wanted to bring the pod back was there's a lot of content out there. They call it what is it called?
Red
pill content, you know, and you know,
what's the other name?
Bromosphere. It's not Bromosphere. It's God, that's a shame. I can't remember. I had to cut that part out. But red pill content out there that's geared towards swaying men. Incels, all of that stuff. Thank you. Yeah. All of that stuff, right? I really did want this show to partly be something that would combat that. Again, this isn't going at every male-led podcast, but politically is where I think things got a little funny. And I wanted this show to be just a breath of fresh air for all people, especially black people, but really black men, to be able to watch this and go, yo, there are people out there that think like me. There are people out here that think differently. They just offer a different perspective. So this is why I thought this was an important topic to talk about. So I'll start with you, P. Just in general, when you heard President Obama talk about the male voter and how the male voter was treated in his opinion, what's your thoughts on that?
I think there a lot of things that he said was astute. I mean, even going back to our conversation before about gender roles and about identity and all those things, you made a comment earlier about the political sphere of what just happened and what happened to. And right now, I am talking about young black males. Obviously, we're talking about males in general, but I mean, we're black right here, right?
Yeah, and we're males.
And we are. So, like, when someone feels that they don't have something to attach themselves to, right?
Yeah.
I'll say it like this. If we think about like a character in a movie like Remy in Higher Learning, right? Remy was trying to belong.
Yeah.
He may have had racial undertones to himself and to his character, but he was trying to get in and fit in with anyone. Tried to fit in with the black guys, made fun of them, carried him. Tried to fit in with the frat dudes.
Yes.
Wasn't cool enough for them. You understand what I'm saying? A group found him. They found him. They began to let him know, you're not alone out here. These ideologies that we have, and you're not the problem. The whole rest of the world is the problem.
Right.
The problem is you haven't identified with who you truly should
Propaganda,
be and what
yeah.
you truthfully should do.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And from that, and obviously I'm talking about a character, but it's still an ideology to have. So when you have a portion of people who have nothing to connect to, when you hear everyone tout over women and children and have so many initiatives for single mothers, so many initiatives for women, they rock out, get the woman vote, get this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? It alienates to where if you're someone who hasn't seen, or maybe you're a newcomer to the political process, and you haven't seen the things that anyone and the political spheres talked about work in your direction. You haven't been that overcomer. You haven't been that entrepreneur as of yet. And then you have the ability to hear certain rhetoric and certain things to let you know that, maybe it's not your fault. Maybe both your party has let you down. Maybe the world in general has let you down, and you need to do a complete 180 of all the things that you think and find where you need to be.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that differences of opinion are wrong. I'm not saying that having different political ideology is wrong, because it's not.
Right.
But when you don't have an identity and you don't have someone that's like speaking to you, it's easy for rhetoric to come in and take over you.
I agree. I think we gotta remember that in the clip, he kept saying boys. And I think that speaks to a developmental thing, right? Not necessarily mid to late 30s or mid 20s, late to early 30s is who he's talking about. He's talking someone who's in the developmental stage. So when you're in the developmental stage, you're trying to attach yourself on, like you said, to your point, Remy, he's in school. I mean, these kids are 18, 19, even maybe 20 years old. Like, they're trying to attach themselves onto some type of identity. And so I think that we have to remember that while, yes, women historically in this country specifically have been disenfranchised, and there's a lot of ideas and things to boast that, as we should.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's also another group of people from the American standpoint that we also make sure that we're building up whole and that we are pouring into. And we can teach young men not to be a certain way towards women or not to be detrimental to the nation. But we still have to be mindful of them, right? Like the male suicide rate is high as draft ass, right? We have men who on the streets who are going crazy against each other, killing each other, right? You know what I mean? And I don't want to make this into a social political thing of gun violence, but at the same time, like, it's men being like, yo, I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm here, I'm outside, whatever, fuck, we're gonna make it happen. And I think that we have to be cognizant of that, right? And we do have to have some type of sensitivities around that. And so, to President Obama's point, it's like, Yeah, I know that we are very making sure, rightfully so, women are taken care of, but at the same time, we still can't forget about this other group of people that also have influence and also
Yeah.
a dangerous influence
Yeah.
into this space.
Yeah.
And we have to think about all these things at the same time and how they kind of coincide with each other.
Yeah. Manosphere is the word I was looking for earlier.
Okay.
And you're 100% right. And I think what I would add is that not only can boys turn into men that are dangerous towards each other, they could be dangerous towards women because of some of the things they're being taught and led to believe. I think you all are 100% right about the idea that there are young men out there that believe that the world is against them, not only because just the world is against them, but because women are taking up spaces that they wouldn't normally. Historically, you know, in particular, the black people, black women are some of the most educated people in the world, right? You know, things that start off as innocent, like normal, just like relationship talks, right? Turn into toxic minefields of you ain't shit and we're better than you. And again, it's not that it's women saying it. It's just that that's what is being received. And it's a lot of things that go on. Or communicated. Yeah. There's a lot of things that go on too, by the way. There's bots online. You have these conversations online, especially if you're having it on X or Twitter. X or Twitter, I think I saw a thing that was like, it's like 80% bots at this point. So you don't even know who you're talking to.
Exactly.
I found myself real live getting into, you know, getting frustrated on Twitter because of like Marvel. Because it was like all the bots, like for some reason the bots were like Marvel sucks. And I found myself getting emotionally charged about about like Marvel, because I was like, I like Marvel. I don't want Marvel. Why you keep saying Marvel sucks? And I almost like engaged in like an argument, probably with a bot. So that's how.
I mean, I might agree, but go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I'm just saying,
DC might be. But go ahead.
Hey,
That's
see,
not
don't troll me. Shouts to DC, by the way.
Nerd.
Listen, everything can work, but we can have it all. Is the point I'm trying to make. And so no, but they did, you know, with
how liberal of you to have it all. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that young men are that it is some truth to young men being left behind in the social and political space. It goes back to our conversation last week, really, when we talked about the museums and the stripping away of people's
the hospitals.
What about the hospitals?
When my son when
we'll get there.
Born.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
No. Yes, but when we were talking about last week with the museums and everything, and how we said it's good to understand, not agree or like, but to understand where a person is coming from, right? Why is there a backlash towards being DEI and learning about other people's cultures and learning about things you may have done wrong or your people may have done wrong in the past? Why does that bother you so much? It's the same thing here, right? Where like the Me Too movement, you know, somewhat of a women's movement, and the more understanding of LGBTQ plus people, a lot of that, you know, what straight men heard was, you are the problem. You are in the way, which is why we can't get where we need to go.
You're extendable or expendable.
Yeah, and that was felt as you're expendable. You are the problem. That's what a lot of white people have been feeling, right? Now that is wrong, and you should not feel that way. But the conversation has to take the next step. And I don't think it's on women to have that conversation with men. I think it's on well-rounded men to have conversations with young men, right? So I appreciate President Obama saying that in the way he said it. And I appreciate his attempts, even during the election, when Kamala was running, and you know, I don't know if you all remember this, and he had the moment where he kind of chastised black men for not getting behind Kamala, right? It ended up backfiring. But what I wish would have happened is people coming in to kind of back up what he was trying to say in a way that young men could really understand. What ended up happening was even intellectual men and black men going, how could Obama say that? That's dumb to say. Don't you know that? Instead of going, he got kind of a point. I definitely knew dudes who just could not vote for Kamala because she was a woman. I definitely, again, call a thing a thing.
But that's
Right.
but
Go,
that's
please.
that's where it gets a little tricky is because there's other people outside other than heterosexual men that are able to chime in. So it's like it's like damning. It's like, oh, you clown ass. You know what I mean? So there's really it's no space to really be there. And so I agree with you. There needs to be a space or spaces where men can be able to talk to men and have these fluent conversations. But in the public sphere, everything is like
it's not the
it's
space.
like carte blanche. It's like it's you know what I mean? It's like we can do whatever. And I think that's where the downfall comes in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you're having a bit of a pain Olympics, right?
Right.
Right. Like
the oppression Olympics. Yeah.
You're having oppression Olympics. Like, it's like, okay, you want to have this. I've said this 100 million times, especially on my old pod. I admire Black women for being able to create spaces where it's just them talking
all the time.
I admire it more than you. I cannot express how much I admire that Black women have conventions. And shouts to Renee, my good friend Renee. I mentioned her husband Dean on the last episode. I was talking about my dunk attempt, my successful dunk attempts, and then my failed dunk attempts
earlier. That
week.
Make your point.
Yeah,
Renee didn't say it, but just Dean.
Renee was at brunch with my wife, but
see,
but shouts to Renee. Exactly. She is part of it. Shouts to Panama's wife as well.
With Monfrance.
The Monfrance is what I was about to talk about. They got this whole
Yeah.
thing where it's just moms, and they talk about.
I mean, April Nicole, like you know what I mean? Yeah.
Shouts to Patrice and her mommy getaway stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
all
doing
this
amazing work.
I can think about all these women, and sometimes you giggle at it because as a man, you don't even think like this. This is like what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago in the gender roles conversation, right? We don't even think about this stuff, right? We don't even think about, man, maybe we should just take a fellas vacation, or maybe we should have a men's seminar that isn't a chastising session, by the way. It's just a men talking about what it's like to be men, because that's what they're doing. Their stuff is so niche down that, again, Patrice has one that's just for moms that just want to take a break.
No, I remember. You remember when you and Paul wanted to get together and do the vision board?
Yeah. And we're laughing because it's that Brewster boy.
It's funny.
Yeah, because it is.
Paul was like, "You sure you gonna be on board?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, let's do this."
Yeah. But so I guess the next natural step to this conversation is what do spaces, P, and then LT, I want to know what you think. What do spaces look like for Black men? Because it's not going to look like what women do. That's just men are different. You know what I mean? What do you think spaces will look like?
I think, firstly, implementing conversation and thought process and ideals helps create them. Something that you and I were involved with years ago with the Fellas Youth Program.
Yeah.
Where we specialize in and like I said, we weren't excluding the female's experience, but we already knew that there are spaces that already takes care of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for us, there's certain things that we've been involved in, just curating those conversations and and helping procure skills that can lead to success, that can lead to you not feeling so marginalized, and also creating spaces where we have both youth spaces and spaces for
grown men,
older and grown men. Like there's a conversation that needs to be had with grown men and working men who have families that may not be as politically driven.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And then there's spaces for the young men so we can help build them up before they become these other gentlemen.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So obviously there's a micro to macro level. I think that any man with any grain is going to teach his personal family the things, provided he knows them.
If he's able to produce a family.
Provided that he knows them.
Yeah.
But that's a key thing, though, right? It's being able to produce a family. Like there's a lot of men who feel like they can produce a family right now because of what we're talking about right now.
Right.
They can't create that because they can't connect or whatever the case may be.
Right.
In terms of that space. And I'm gonna let LT do his thing, but I just want to say that.
No, I'm with you. That's a very valid point.
Go ahead, T.
So I think that that we have certain spaces for ourselves. I just don't think it's on as grand a scale as the women are doing. Like the women are taking the steps to kind of put it out there for everybody to be involved. You know, every woman,
right.
You know, They are every woman.
I was about to say this.
I was about to say.
I tried not to.
I was like, it's all in them. But for us, like, I was going to mention, like, I have like this, these folks I talk to in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and we talk about a lot of different things, but it's like, it's interesting that sometimes it's like you were mentioning before, how Barack is speaking from a more life experience.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, these are some of the things that they're feeling. I know how you feel as a man, but here are some things that you can do, or this is how I would do it.
Yeah.
He's giving out, just advice. He's not trying to tell people what they need to do.
Yeah.
But, this is what I would do type of stuff. And
yeah.
that's kind of like what I do with the younger people in the gym. So we have those spaces.
Mm-hmm.
We just not, like, I'm not turning it into a big spectacle thing where I'm like, all right, I should probably get all these young people from the gym to come meet me, and we'll have like something like what we're doing right now,
right?
And just have a talk with everybody.
It's like one at a time. Like in your space that you can control, you're able to kind of manifest that. I think that it's challenging. I think that a part of and I could be completely wrong, but I think a lot of the energy that comes from women doing where they are and how they're doing right now is by being told that they were less than, being told that they can do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's easier to go up than it is go down, but I do think though, when you don't have that, then you can have that.
Yeah.
When you're told that, it's a little different than mystically having that and have to kind of pull that back. Like it's a challenge to like slow down the race.
Yeah.
Right. You've been going so far. And I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that men have been out racing women or whatever, right? But I do think in the context of women have to be like, yo, we got to step up to this.
Yeah.
Right. It's challenging now to be like, oh, you got to unlearn these things. And I think there's a lot of unlearning women have to do as well, to get to a certain level.
Yeah.
But with men, it's like completely, it's like, you got to break that down.
Right.
That's a
No. I'm sorry. I'm you're 100% right. And as you were talking, I was thinking that like there has to be different spaces. Even when I think about this podcast, right? Like, and some of it has to be digital spaces, right? Like I meant what I said about like the pod, and obviously we have a woman as a co-host on the pod, and so we're not going to just be talking about men stuff all the time, but it has to be welcoming, right? You make a great point that men always come from a position of maintaining success,
status quo,
right? So if you're going to go to a men's conference, it's a business conference, and you're going to be learning how to be a businessman, or entrepreneur, or how to be an alpha man, or how to maintain your dominance over blah, because you're losing it. Right. And I think that's what the manosphere is doing, and that's what the red pill is doing. It's a bunch of, you're a loser, but you're a loser for a reason, bro, because you haven't tapped into your inner alpha male.
Right.
No, there's no spaces where men could talk about, yo, I lost my friend the other day and I really just need a place to talk about this. Or it don't even have to be that deep. It could be quite literally, we vacation together. It's a vacation. Women have vacation groups, right? Or a dad group. And mind you, T makes a great point. Daddy Stroller Club. That's something I literally want to join, but trying to find a DC, and somebody tried to direct me to one, but it didn't quite work out. At least I couldn't find it. But like Daddy Stroller Club, there's one in like Texas, there's one in like LA, I think.
We got to get over the idea of that certain things are corny also.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
To your point, like it's like it's yes, in theory, it's like, but like at the same time, it's like you're all doing with the same thing. You're dealing with some children maybe having, some maybe intellectual or developmental issues. You got some not, like, yo, this is what helped me. This would help me. Like being able to have that conversation, build that bond. I think that
mental health at the end of the day, that's the word.
Or community also, bro.
Community, yes, absolutely, community and mental health, but absolutely community. It's a little bit of both, right? Like, if we're talking about a male loneliness epidemic, and that's definitely not to say that every man is experiencing that, right? But if there is one, and by the numbers, it's an actual thing. And you mentioned the suicide rates up. You know what I mean? Domestic violence rates up.
Homicide rates.
Homicides rates up. joblessness.
Maybe not in DC, but
maybe not in DC. I'm talking. We talking
Yeah,
about.
I know. I'm
general
just saying. I didn't want
most
to.
men. Yeah, we're not talking about Washington DC.
Just in general.
Joblessness is up, right? People, black men aren't as educated. All of these things. The job market is swelling. The AI is taking job. All this stuff, right? That impacts you mentally. You need to find a community of people that you can talk to and relate
Engaging
to,
with, yeah,
right? Engage with. You mentioned something earlier about that we talked about a few episodes ago that when you were in the hospital, when your son was being born, that you didn't see anything up in
there was no posters that had like family. It was just mother and child, and it's like, what are we communicating here?
Yeah,
right. And let's be very clear. I think women. Maternal health is extremely important.
Oh, 100%.
Perinatal, prenatal, all that is extremely important, and we need to be engaged in that in a productive way. I think that we need to be cognizant of these things. I mean, there's a lot of congenital or just morbidity around Black women in terms of them being mothers and health. You know what I mean? But at the same time, what are we communicating when we only see posters of women and child? It's like, what are we trying to achieve here? And it doesn't have to be, it could be same sex at the same time, right? Like, I don't want to isolate anybody. It can be same sex at the same time, but just the idea of like family and not just being child and mom. It's like, what are we consuming on a day-to-day basis?
Interesting point.
We have to find these spaces and be more intentional with them, because there's a lot of deconstruction that has to go on. And it's deconstruction of certain things that the world has put on. Like something I learned in this last election, bro. Something that I really learned, like patriarchy is like a big thing, the same way matriarchy is it's a global thing. Like if we were to talk about things that encompass the whole world, certain of these ideologies encompass the world. You know what I'm saying? It's not even, we can make it case specific to Black people and all those things, but like we're deconstructing ideologies of a male. In 2025, we're still deconstructing ideologies of males being uncomfortable with emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So like we really have to be intentional on that, because there's like so much unlearning to have to do. And like you said, to catch up with the spaces that women are allowed to be in. Like you're allowed to be an emotional woman.
Right.
You're allowed to need a hug and seek one, and that be okay. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we're allowed to also, but it's not the overall norm part of the way that society views these things.
So
and now we're literally creating this space. And I think over the past 20 some odd years, maybe 10, 15, we're just beginning to be more comfortable with it, but we're not in the least bit completely there.
It takes time.
I'm glad that you spoke on that, Paul, because I think as men, we're going to have to start being more open-minded, you know? And I think that's kind of like where a lot of the issue is, that, a lot of the people are still kind of like, like, oh, men can't do the things that you just mentioned,
Right.
And we got to be more open to the fact that, okay, like not every man is built the same, we
For
all
sure.
got it. We're all different. So we just got to be open-minded with what someone says, because what your experience is, Smooth, is different from Adam's, different from Paul's, is different from mine.
Yeah.
But we can't sit there and be like, you know, if Smooth's talking about like, oh, he didn't see the family aspect, he just saw mommy and child. We can't sit around here and be like, oh man, stop being soft, man. Don't worry about it. We got to be like, you know what? You're right. Like we just did. We were just like, you're right.
I want to make this one last point. I think that to Chelsea's point, I think that with us recognizing all these different type of experiences, we with men specifically, and I know it's easier probably said than done, is there has to be a level of patience that has to be like understood,
right?
In us trying to fix these things, or at least understanding, like, of course, it's the same way, honestly, the way Black people talk about white people, right? In terms of like, white people have to like be a certain type of way. It's like, oh, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to not be excited about this. We're supposed to involve ourselves with this. I think with men, we have to kind of say, okay, we might get some haymakers thrown our way. You know what I mean? Like, like that's the gig is the gig.
Yeah.
And we're building towards something.
Unfortunately, yes. But again, it may not feel that way. But I think that as we're moving forward, moving through the storm, we have to kind of know that that frostbitten toes, it comes from the elements, but we're still moving forward. And again, I know it's easier said than done, but I think that mature men have to articulate this to other men or young adults or young men that it's going to take some time to figure this out.
Yeah. And that, just real quick, that's an excellent point, because you're right. On one hand, we want more understanding and we want to be heard a little bit more, and we want people to know that we hurt too. Right. But on the other hand, you have to understand that just being us and just being a male, the patriarchy has hurt.
It's the backstory. Yeah.
And so we can't expect people that's been hurt by the patriarchy, even as a black man, where not is being a black man is not like being a white man.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, we're a minority, but black women are a double minority. So they have been hurt by black men in the patriarchy that black men have possessed over the years. Even if it wasn't you, it doesn't matter. That ghost, that system has hurt them. So you cannot expect them to drop to their knees and just be like, thank you for being one of the good ones.
Right.
You're going to catch a little bit of shrapnel. One thing I wanted to say real quick before Paul makes his point, and we transition to the political piece really quickly before we have to wrap this up. Just to the kid point and the parent piece, the family unit piece you spoke about. I felt that too. I remember, and I spoke about this before. I remember when Jen was pregnant, that people would literally just walk up to her and go, "Congratulations!" I'd be standing right there,
right?
And I remember thinking, like,
"Damn,
should I feel bad? Like, should I be? This feels wrong to be angry about this, but I am, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that happened, and Dane, my best friend Derek, Paul Spann, and a lot of other brothers, but those y'all in particular at different times came to me and said, "Bro, I know what it's." Oh, my cousin Sean, I know what it's like. I know how you're going to feel through this. He said, "You believe?" My cousin Sean said this. No, I'm sorry. One of them said this.
One of them
niggas said this. You're going to even feel jealous at points. You're
Yeah.
going to feel weird.
Hell yeah.
Okay. He said, but they were like, but we're going to be here for you. When you feeling weird, don't say nothing to her. Don't say nothing to her friends.
You
talk
to
to us.
Yeah.
And we'll help center you.
Yeah.
And that's that community piece. It's not, it doesn't have to be a big conference all the time. It's just, listen, brother. Yeah, that's a toxic thought. I get it. I'm not judging you because you had a toxic thought.
Toxic,
It's a real thought. Let me help center you back to a place of understanding where it came from. Not judgment, not calling you Obama and weak or this, that, and another, but help you get centered so you can be the best man you can be
focused
for that woman who is carrying your child and you do not know what that's like.
Exactly.
Pete, go ahead, and I want to get into the political piece when we wrap up.
Man, I would just say, per all of you all's point, just being more intentional and curating those spaces for one another. Like you said, we're building towards where people and males in this space will be comfortable with going to conferences and even comfortable with being and exhibiting those vulnerabilities and feeling. Because unfortunately, like we said, unfortunately, there's a lot of shrapnel that came from patriarchy. But there's also a lot of shrapnel that came from emotional imbalance.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So trying to obviously there are sectors of men. There are people that have been raised wonderfully. There are people that have been taught in wonderful things that have been, but that isn't the standard norm.
Right.
So I think every little bit matters. I think talking about things matter. I also think that beginning to turn the tide in conversation more towards an element of positivity, even when talking about fathers, when talking about, you know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes the internet and certain things can be so vitriol that but there are sectors that there are sectors that we've even been involved in for the past 20 some odd years. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that it's important, all of these small steps working towards that goal.
Yeah. Let me just speak politically really quickly, because that's what President Obama was talking about. So I don't want to leave this conversation without mentioning the political side of it. You had a lot of men go to the MAGA side, the Republican side, voting for Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. We could simplify it in by saying one could simplify it by saying they just didn't want to vote for a woman. And I do think for some of them, that's a big piece. And I think a lot of women didn't want to vote for a woman too. By the way. But I also think that there was a lot of men who went to the Rogans of the world or the Schultz of the world, the Theo Vaughns of the world, who felt like nothing we care about is being talked about. And if we talk about it, we're told that it's pointless or it's not worth anything. Right. I remember I sat down with some brothers about 2 years before the election, and a big thing for them was finances. They were business owners. And I remember I debated them. I debated them real good. Okay, about like, buying this and this, that, and that. But for them, it just was like, I don't think anyone cares about me and my business and my family and things that like were male-driven issues for them. I think President Obama does have a point, because politics is about this. And I think that the more polarized our politics become, we mentioned this in the last episode, we were talking about like ultra-right, ultra-left, right? The more polarizing our politics become, the more people kind of stand in their corner and put their flag down and go, well, this is what I care about. And it is what it is.
This is what it is.
And a smart politician or a corrupt politician goes, you got it.
And capitalizes off of it.
You can have that.
Yeah.
And that's what Trump did. I remember the campaign. Again,
all you gotta do is vote.
I don't like Donald Trump, so I don't gotta say this ain't a bad Trump
that's what all politicians do.
No, they all do, but he did it in a more
sophisticated, not sophisticated, but savvy way.
In a more blunt way. Literally, okay. I'll give it to you. Yes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you want jobs? Yeah, sure. Yes.
Got that.
Yeah, jobs, yes. You think America's become too woke, which for a lot of men, that means too many gay people talking, too many women doing this, that, another, too many. And whenever I watch TV, they take my child, they turn them a boy into this, that, another. I'm gonna stop them from doing this in the schools because this is what you care about. You know, even if I can or can't. So I think that the messaging, and I am not a political science expert. I am definitely not a campaign manager. Okay. So it's not necessarily, well, I won't say it's not my job, but
as a journalist, it's your job.
It's my job definitely as a person on mic trying to talk. I just would say that, you know, I guess what I'm saying is in this particular episode, I don't have all of the answers. Maybe we will as we do more episodes, because we'll definitely keep talking about this. But I think that Obama is right about your messaging has to hit these people too. You can't just message to other people and leave them out. You can't, because it's proven that they will turn on you now.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of them may regret their vote now. Fine, that's great. But that's all it took.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's not the majority. The majority is still going to feel like I still need to hear something from you to tell me why I should feel comfortable. Go ahead.
To your point, and I know you're going to wrap up soon, but politically that takes time.
For sure.
I think right now, politically, we have been, since President Obama, we've been in a very unprecedented time in terms of how we relate to each other from a political standpoint. It's been very nasty.
Yeah.
Right. It's been very nasty. And I think the increase of us having access to screens has done that. Yeah. So I do think it's going to take time for both parties to be able to figure out how we're going to communicate to all these different people without alienating somebody. And I do think that politics, someone's going to be alienated. Someone's not going to like something. Someone's not going to agree with something.
That's life. That's being an adult.
Right.
Yeah.
But just knowing that they're on your mind of like, okay, cool. We can at least still consider this. We can still look at this, or, you know, even though we're pushing for this also helps us see this way as well.
Yeah.
Because going down this road, it opens up to that. I mean, the black people, or not black people, but black Americans, civil rights movement opened up a lot of doors for a lot of different other civil rights movements, right? And so I think that we have to kind of think about that from a political standpoint of how we are relating to each people without alienating someone else.
Last thing I'm gonna say real quick, Pete, before we wrap up, is that if you're one thing that the other side did that I thought was very smart was go on those podcasts that were male driven and talk to them, and you could say they lied to them, whatever, but they went on there. You know, there's a lot of spaces where you got people that clearly want to run,
right?
Newsom, Moore, maybe more isn't running, but maybe it feels like more would like to run. And other people, I would say, hey, come on spaces like this. Come join conversations where it's you're talking to Black people, you're talking to men, you're talking to young Black people, young working professionals, young Black women, middle-aged Black women. Come, join these spaces because and start now.
Right.
Start now to your point. Because there's a lot of people out there that's hungry right now. And that's just from the political sense. And also I would just say it's just good to know that people care and or at least will pretend to care.
Right.
Because we're adults, we understand that politicians, it is what it is. But at least pretend to care, at least know that what I'm asking for, I might get or I will get from you. So we're gonna keep this conversation going. Pete, you got any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
All I would say is for those that may be a bit more learned in processes, that may have an ideology that can go beyond, frankly, being fooled. I think it's for us to like bring people along to the best of our ability without getting exhausted and completely turning them off and completely exonerating someone if they think differently. Like before you've even investigated and tried to have a conversation with them, you think this, like I get it. There's so many people want to protect their space. I fully understand that. But if we're going to keep moving forward and if we actually care, sometimes we're going to have uncomfortable conversations with people.
There it is. Speaking of uncomfortable conversations, one gotta go coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for another round of One Gotta Go. LT, who are we debating and what are we debating?
So this week it's going to be Denzel movies, but not just any Denzel movies. It's going to be Denzel Spike Lee joints. So it's going to be Inside Man, Malcolm X, and He Got Game.
All right, so I'm going to start off, all right? Inside Man, Malcolm X, and what's my third one again? Remind me.
He Got Game.
He Got Game. Okay. So for me, it has to be Inside Man, that's going to go. Much as I love that movie, and that's a great movie, and it is like one of the like outside of the box Spike Lee movies. I love it, but He Got Game just holds a special place in my heart, like a special place. If I could grab the 13s right now, they over here somewhere, I would. I should have had them ready. Means a lot to me, and of course, Malcolm X is almost sacrilege to get rid of Malcolm X. So for me, Inside Man has to go. Nargis, what you think?
I'm getting rid of He Got Game.
Woo.
Only because, obviously, we're not touching Malcolm X. It's just great, right? Multiple levels. When I think about the ending, and it might have just been my age when He Got Game came out. When I compare endings, I like the ending of Inside Man more.
Yeah, that's a simple but straightforward. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. All right. I want Clarence go last because I know he's gonna have an in-depth. T, which one you got going, brother?
So Inside Man is the one for me to go as well. Mainly because, and this is probably my fault, I have not seen that one.
That's a good reason.
It's just, I'm not going to lie to you. Like you said, Malcolm X can't be taken off because it's such a iconic movie. I remember to this day, like one of the parts in the movie, like when his his brother or his friend or something, like when they laid him on the train tracks and stuff. That scene,
it was a dad, yeah.
His dad, yeah.
Like really traumatized me as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like it really is one of those scenes where I was like, oh, what the? And then I got older and watched the rest of the movie. I was like, okay, it goes along with the rest of the movie, but and He Got Game. Like, Denzel aside, like we got to give props to Ray Allen because he Jesus Shuttlesworth. He did his thing. But I just like that movie as a whole. So yeah, Inside Man had to go for me.
All right, P. What you got?
All right. So obviously, Malcolm X is a completely iconic movie, done, properly, and Denzel is absolutely wonderful in it. But I'm going to get rid of Malcolm X, right? And for the and I'll give the reasoning only and strictly only because there are real life iterations of Malcolm X. Like I can look at documentaries. I can look at other shows like Godfather of Harlem and different things that tell the story. Now, obviously, no one of these people do it justice, but just for the fact that Malcolm X is a real person that I can really find actual information about, I can get rid of Malcolm X, and not taking anything away from Denzel's performance, not taking anything away from the power and the impact of the movie, but only because of those reasons.
Hey, Pete, before we go this move, we talked on the phone the other day. What'd I call you on the phone?
You called me Uncle Tom. You called me a host of other things. You know what I'm saying? Which which I'm not cool with Uncle Tom because it's not true in the least bit. But but like I said, it's only literally for the fact that that's the only part that's an actual biography that if his edition of it didn't exist, we would still know the story, and that's the only reason.
All right. Wow, we got a variety. This is interesting. This was interesting. All right, Smooth. Go for it.
Good
Open up
answer,
the book and
Sam.
read.
That's a good point. I never said what Paul just said. You know what I mean? Like, Malcolm X is you can there's documentaries. There's a lot of history about him or his story. So I'm on Paul's side. I think I gotta get rid of Malcolm X. And the reason why I say that is because the other two stories, this is good storytelling, right? I think that all three of them have their spike like glitter on it. You know what I mean? From the framing and stuff like that. But He Got Game was very like guerrilla, the different screens and how it was like a traditional view, and then it was kind of grainy, then it was kind of did this, and it was this with the camera work was really great. I think Inside Man was also one of the first times I saw Denzel in modern day in like a serious role, but it seemed like a non-Denzel role. Like the way it was portrayed, it just didn't seem like a historic role that I've seen Denzel in. And so I think that kind of showed me his range a little bit. Again, in more modern times. And Clive Owen, like they were a good duo. They were an amazing duo. I think the story was really great. I don't know if Spike wrote it. I know he directed it, but
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if he wrote Inside Man. I think some of his latter movies, except for the ones that were like pretty bad, frankly.
Really?
He did not write. Like he didn't write Black Klansman. He didn't write Highest Lowest. I don't know if he wrote was it The Five Bloods? I'm not sure if he wrote that one. But he did write like The Sweet Blood of Jesus and Chirac and some of the,
those are amazing. So wait,
he didn't write Inside Man.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think he did. I didn't think he did. I didn't think he did.
Adam, you said that some that weren't good. What were some of those that's on your list that weren't good in your opinion?
Real quick, all right, just real quick. Chirac, Sweet Blood of Jesus, I think it was the one he did like right straight on Kickstarter. I don't remember the name of this one, but it was about like I can't even remember the name of it. Chirac, Sweet Blood of Jesus, Girl 6, He Hate Me, are some that just come off the top of my head. Bamboozled is like amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
Like I said, what was the one about the soldiers? Not the one
Five Bloods.
Oh no,
Miracle at St. Anna.
Yes.
That's a great movie.
Love that movie. Love that movie. Right, love that movie. So I don't know. I can't tell you honestly. I don't know if he wrote that.
Let me ask Google again.
But yeah, while you Google that, let me tell you why it's crazy to get rid of Malcolm X. Okay,
and then I'm gonna follow up.
Yes, I saw. Look, Nargis said
Nargis had the gun loaded. She was ready.
I got my shirt. Y'all can't see. I got my Malcolm. Man, look, people change.
You want to go first?
People change. You feel me? No, I'm looking at Miracle of St.
All right, okay, so listen, let me tell you why it's crazy to get rid of Malcolm X. and I get it. And this was this is actually tougher than the last one we did with the comedian, to be honest with you. This is tough because the first like 5 or 6 Spike movies are like historically good. Like they're like pillars in Black culture, right? I would say all the way up to like Clockers. Those are like all of those movies like mean something to the culture, right? Malcolm X, beyond like the entertainment portion of it, right? And even the educational piece, what it took to make that movie, like the story behind that movie, what he had to do. When you see the end of that movie, this is my biggest Michael Jordan defense, by the way, that Michael Jordan helped fund that movie. Michael, Magic, you can see pictures of Mike wearing the Malcolm X hat back in the day. By the way, the Malcolm X hat, just in like fashion culture and Black fashion culture, how much big, okay? But what he had to go through, the fact that that movie, it wasn't in Scorsese's hands, it's actually Clocker's. It was in a famous white director's hands. I don't remember who, okay? They were going to do it like in the 80s. Spike fought, almost hated on the Bama to get that movie in his hands. He literally stole the movie from dudes, sabotaged the other dude's version of the film because he knew he had to, as the most important Black director in Hollywood at the time, he had to do that movie. That movie is more than just an entertainment piece or something with Malcolm X in it. I feel you, Pete. There's a lot of, portrayals of Malcolm X, right? But Denzel's is a definitive one.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. It's the definitive. It's the movie that I would argue Denzel had been nominated for Oscar before with Glory, which is one of my favorite movies, by the way. But this is the movie I believe that really, and every great actor has that film that made Denzel, like, it took him from, oh, that's a really good actor, to, wow, Mount Rushmore of actors. I believe, even though Do the Right Thing is probably Spike Lee's greatest film and the one he's most known for, I think this is the one that took Spike Lee and made, oh, this is a cool director, to, wow, this is one of the best directors. So I'm not gonna sit here and plead my case too much because I think Nargis is probably gonna be able to take this one over the top. But I want you to have. I thought, but he told me, I was like, oh yeah, But no, but I just think it's much as I love He Got Game, as much as I love Inside Man, there's no way I get rid of Malcolm X for either one of those. Frankly, go ahead, Nargis.
Do y'all have a response before I?
What do you think?
Okay,
don't give them no opportunity to speak.
Yeah, no, I wait till you done.
No, I mean, honestly, I fully understand the logic behind that, right? It's like those who could be knowledge seekers could seek out and find. You can pop in a documentary, you can do whatever. Like, you can learn Malcolm X, right? Learn about the life of Malcolm X. The problem, I think I would say, just with that argument is not just like what Adam was alluding to, like not just the acting. If we're looking at movies as like the total body of work, then the origin story to even get that movie shot, the cultural impact of that movie on the other side, the way that they were able to put so much of such a nuanced life into a few hours, right? And be able to kind of tell it from start to finish. The cultural impact that it's had, the quotables, the way that that man's life has been celebrated, and I think exposed community to the complicated person that he was, and like the impactful person that he was. And I would argue that like that movie coming out had a similar impact on like the culture and the community of that time, as far as like remotivating, reinvigorating, like, oh, again, like my shirt says, like, people change. Like, this is the life of a very complicated, polarizing man, Black man, right? Black man from Nebraska who literally like led a movement, and championed a community. So it's like yes, someone can go and like read a book. Yes, you can turn on a PBS special, and it's not to minimize those things, but I think it's very important, especially in today's time, you know, as the world has become more lazy, that you make important figures such as him as accessible as possible. So when you package like knowledge in something that's supposed to be entertainment, like a movie, and you can empower people on the other side of it, that has that lasting, like, beautiful, like, collateral ripple effect that I can't say. Inside Man was just a good film. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, zing, but like, it was a well-written film, but it's not carrying on a movement. It's not having, I mean, it might to some people, but just from my standpoint, like, it's not impacting and long lasting in that way that I would say. Like the story of Malcolm X, that movie is part of the story and narrative of Malcolm X. Denzel is not Malcolm X. You know, like he will forever be that person. And the way that the family was just involved, like, I just think it's revered for a reason, because it's so much broader. It has the impact that a book, that the autobiography of Malcolm X had, because it was, you know, inspired by that, and then it took the autobiography of Malcolm X, and because niggas don't read, made it accessible. You know what I'm saying? To have that wider reach, and I just think you can't take that. You take away the progress of the Black community if you take that movie away.
It's got Nelson Mandela in it.
Yeah,
Nelson
100%.
Mandela in it. Okay,
No,
movie
it has
has
Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela in it. I am Malcolm X.
Amandala.
Right.
Indeed.
Now, I
am
totally,
Malcolm X.
Nelson Mandela.
I totally, completely agree with all of that, like 100%. But we all couldn't be up on here
That
saying
man
the
don't got
same
that.
thing.
Mhm.
We all could be up here saying the exact same thing. It wasn't gonna work.
Yes,
that
we
way.
could, Paul. It's called a unanimous decision.
Now,
Nah.
Clarence voted for it
I
too.
mean, we
I'm just saying, if we all agreed, it would be a unanimous decision. Those things happen.
Well, remember, the point of this game is for the audience to decide.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay, so
for
we
Right.
sure.
argue my face is blue, but no, it's got Nelson Mandela in it, dog. Like, this our man don't got no Nelson Mandela in it.
He's like, you can go
I
read a
agree.
book
I'm
about
still
Nelson Mandela.
laughing
This
at the fact that
documentary is
Adam
about
You been
called
Nelson
swayed? You
Paul.
been swayed?
I agree.
Adam called
Say it
Paul.
again.
Have you been swayed?
No. I'm still sticking with what I'm sticking with. Like I said, we you know, we need a bit of contrarian here.
Well, let me ask y'all this: which film do you think that he directed the best?
Malcolm
Not
X.
the film itself, but how he directed it.
I think Malcolm X.
Yeah.
I think Malcolm X. And again, and we can talk about this. That's a great.
Yeah,
that's actually just a really good point. I think all three of them, and that's why again this one is tough. And by the way, audience, we left Mo Better Blues out, and Mo Better Blues is definitely a
One of my
worthy
favorites.
contender. It's an amazing movie.
On the list.
Yeah, but we wanted to keep it to 3. But for the
Is
sake
Spike
of
in those other two? Is Malcolm X the only one Spike is in?
he's in Mo Better Blues.
No, I'm talking about.
No,
is he
he's
in
not
He Got
in.
He's not in
I
He
think
Got Game or Inside Man, is he?
I think he stopped acting like around He Got Game. I think the last movie he was in was Crooklyn. I think that may
Brooklyn
have been
came
the
after
last.
Malcolm X.
Crooklyn came out after Malcolm.
Brooklyn
Okay.
came after Malcolm X.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think the last
That was
movie
like
Spike was
mid-90s.
in.
I thought he was
Somebody Google that because that's a
Yeah,
good.
that's what I'm looking at.
I think the last movie Spike was in was Crooklyn.
Okay.
I think. But to Smooth's question, and it's a great question. Which one do we think was directed better? I think that's an excellent question. I say Malcolm X is it's better directed than the other two movies, even though the other two are excellent. I mean, the way they just like, you know, they're both like excellent, right? In terms of direction. But I think Malcolm X might be the second best work he's done as a director outside of Do the Right Thing. Okay, for me. For me. Because he took, as Nargis pointed out earlier, that movie is long. When I had the DVD, it came in 2 DVDs, right? Like you had part 1, part 2. It's a long movie.
It's like Roots.
And I mean, he basically did the man's entire life. You could have just made a movie. And I mean, Paul mentions like Godfather of Harlem, right? Godfather of Harlem is about, well, it's about the latter years of Malcolm, but it really alludes to the earlier years of Malcolm when he knew Bumpy and he was Detroit Red, right? You could make a whole Detroit Red movie. Like you could just make a movie about Detroit Red and it would be interesting. And or you could just make a movie about the last year of Malcolm's life or the last day of his life. That's how sprawling and incredible the man's life is. Spike to take it, and I've seen great directors. I've seen Ridley Scott try to take like Alexander's life, right? Alexander the Great, right? And do the whole thing, and it'd be a boring mess. And this is Ridley Scott, a great director, right? It's very difficult to take someone's life from beginning to end and make it interesting and cohesive and tight, frankly. That's a very difficult thing to do. So for me, and I'm not talking about like shots or cinematography or anything like that. I'm talking about the direction of the film. For me, it's Malcolm X. I would say definitely better than the other two. Go ahead. What you think?
I don't know, man. I feel like out of those three, we get the most guerrilla direction from Spike, and he got game.
Agreed, except for School Days.
Yes.
Yeah, but out of the 3 movies, yes, I agree with you.
3 movies, it's like, I mean, it's you gotta, it's something you choose to appreciate. You know what I mean? It's tough. I mean, out of all 3, I would never want to get rid of any of them. Right?
Facts.
You're absolutely right. Malcolm X is definitely where it's at. Is definitely culturally been very relevant. One of the most accurate portrayals of his life. Excuse me. But Inside Man gave me a very clean version of Denzel. Whereas though he was able to show the conflict in the character very well without like overtelling it, like overacting. Like I like seeing those type of elements in pictures, right? Because I think that that's where the audience gets to connect to that character. And so I think in Malcolm X in Inside Man, it's easier to follow along with, you know what I mean, connecting to the character, maybe more than a little bit more than he got paid, right? But Inside Man was just, it was a different beast for me, I think at that time. But then, if not all 3, but at least 2 of them, the famous like track car shot.
That's in
It's in all of them.
It's all of them.
That's his
trademark.
That's his
shot
signature.
is the track shot.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was in He Got Game. I couldn't remember that.
Only project
that's
Spike
his trademark thing, man.
Yeah, the only projects he didn't do the track shot is in his documentaries.
Well, and I'll go see it. I think I don't remember seeing it in this one either.
Wow, that would be interesting if he didn't do it.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. That would be really.
That would.
If he chose to do this in his probably his last film with Denzel,
right?
To not do that, that would be really interesting.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking back now because it was a long ass movie. It was a long movie. But yeah, I don't remember seeing it because I feel like I was looking for it.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like also Inside Man, that shot seemed to be very like, it was rushed. It was like it was not as smooth as Malcolm X, you know, me kind of cruising along.
Yeah.
Man, he was like, you could tell
it was a dynamic character, and it was more chaotic.
And it would happen, if I'm correct, it happened after he thought that he shot a hostage. So it was like him like rushing to get where he needed
to the front door. Yep.
That's the interesting thing about the track shot, right? Why he's so damn good is because he's using the same trick, and it tells a different story. Like I'm thinking about
different emotion every time. Right.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking about Crooklyn, where it's actually Spike Lee playing the little boy, and he's picking on the boy calls out for his sister, and the sister has the bat. and they're doing the track shot, and she hits Spike Lee in the head, and it's just like every time the track, or Malcolm X, for instance, the track shot was supposed to help you understand that this is this man's like last day on this earth.
Yeah.
He's like in a hate. You know what I'm saying?
All the things that are going through his mind.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant, man.
Man, it's like blasphemous to say, get rid of Malcolm X, but I think these choices
100%.
from an artistic standpoint, it's like, I don't want to get rid of the three, but it's, the other two just seem to really stand out, and maybe because I'm biased to Malcolm, to that story, into that movie, because it's so ingrained into like.
It's a great film.
It is. It's amazing.
Let's talk about He Got Game then, because I feel like Nargis is getting rid of He Got Game, right?
Well, I'm getting rid of it, but to Smooth's question, I think that's a better example of his directing. I would, if we're leaning into Spike Lee more so than like total body of work, then I would say that as a director, He Got Game, you're working with the most rookie cast. Right?
Young Rosario Dawson. Right.
Young Rosario Dawson.
Ray Allen.
Non-acting
Ray Allen.
as
He
Ray
wasn't acting.
Allen.
Rick Fox.
And
Bill Harper.
And I would argue this is Denzel's like tiptoe into. I mean, obviously Malcolm X was a criminal, right? But he has a redeeming arc. This is a.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is a different
setting him up
lane.
for Training Day.
This
Yeah.
This
First
is a
time he played
different.
like a scumbag.
Right.
Yeah, this is a different temperature for He Got Game. I don't like He Got Game, like I said, because I think the age I watched it, it just made me more uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what I'm seeing. It's threesomes. It's abuse. It's I don't know what I'm looking at. My mom asleep. I'm rewinding.
Right.
You got big titty white girls.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, what was that?
And Rick
Finding what?
Right, Rick Fox. So that's the reason why it just didn't. I feel like niggas who play basketball like just really love that movie, and that's just not. I'm not a nigga who play basketball. But if we're talking about what Spike would have had to do as a director to produce the degree of movie that it turned into, I would say he directed his ass off and He Got Game more so than because the story
Denzel
of Malcolm
was a
X is
seasoned
there.
actor by then. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Denzel, I mean, he was seasoned. Like, this was kind of like a breakout, like, Oscar worthy. And him and Denzel had been vibing. So that's different. We have a relationship. We know the story of Malcolm. We have, his family's input. It's just how I want to tell the story. But the story has been told, right? He didn't write Inside Man. And honestly, like I said, I like the story of Inside Man. I couldn't have told you that was a Spike Lee movie until the track shot. I went into it knowing it was a Spike Lee movie.
Makes it really dope.
It makes it really dope. Like, it was a wonderful surprise. Like, there he is.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that was a Spike Lee directed movie if I didn't know it. So as far as where I would give him kudos the most is in He Got Game, because of the guerrilla type tactics and just because of what he was working with. It was much more of a grassroots story from start to finish than I would say the other two are.
I still say Malcolm X, but I think I understand. Well, I know I understand what you're saying, because I'm thinking about Malcolm X, and it's funny we're talking about these three movies, and they're like three distinct periods of Spike, right? You got like late 80s, 90s Spike, you got mid 90s Spike, and then you got like 2000s to like present Spike, right? Like the things you're saying about Inside Man, I felt the same way about Black Klansman, right? Like, you wouldn't know that's a Spike movie until you see that tracking shot. There's a few jokes in there that kind of feel Spike-ish, but it's not like a Spike movie. It doesn't have the jazz and soundtrack and all of the things you're used to with Spike film. With Malcolm X, that's back when he still had like his crew of actors, Giancarlo. People like
What's
that.
the light-skinned dude?
I forgot his name, but he did a.
I'm about to look it up.
Yeah,
the light-skinned dude with the nose, because he played he played Huey P. Newton.
Yes, he did.
And this
the
really
one-man.
dope one man. Yeah.
And that's what
that's my man.
But yeah, until Jungle Fever, I think Spike had like that crew of actors that he worked with, but
I feel that he still has them though.
no, so yeah, don't spoil it, but they hadn't. If they hadn't been in his films in a very long time. Delroy Lindo and the Five Bloods was like a reconnection, and that was cool to see.
Why are
Right?
they expensive as hell?
His name is
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Roger Gwynver Smith.
Yeah, I knew it's like
Word.
I do not know how to say that
yeah.
middle name, but his name is
great
Roger
actor
Smith.
though, amazing actor, right?
Yeah.
His sister used to be in all of his films. I know his sister still does stuff with him and all that. But point I'm making is that, to your point, Malcolm X was a powerhouse cast.
Mm-hmm.
Powerhouse. I mean, we're not even talking about Angela Bassett. We haven't
Right.
even mentioned her
We didn't
name.
even bring
Yeah.
shame
Okay,
on
we
us.
haven't even. Shame on us because we didn't even mention
Yeah.
Angela Bassett. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a powerhouse
Straight to jail.
cast. All of that. Okay, you're right. Inside Man as well. I think is that Chiwetel Ejiofor that was in that
Chiwetel
one?
Ejiofor,
Mhm.
Jodie Foster,
Mhm.
Clive
Yeah.
Owen.
Clive
Yeah,
Owen.
it was some. Yeah, yeah.
Powerhouse
Heavy
cast,
hitters.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Powerhouse cast. You're right. He Got Game is the most like rookie cast. It's really just Rosario. Rosario Dawson's in there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
she's in there.
But that was
But young
her.
Rosario,
Right.
Yeah,
young
Yeah.
Rosario,
Yeah.
young.
Hill Harper, somebody mentioned. But really, it's just Denzel.
I
I
think
mean, Jim Brown's in the jump.
I think He Got
But
Game
really,
was
it's just-
like Rosario's like second or third after Kids.
Yeah, I think. She did Kids. You're right
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way,
I gotta go back and watch
Great
that.
movie.
Yeah.
boy,
Kids
that's a
is
wow.
Kids is yeah.
He had
Kids
John
is-
Turturro was in there.
John
Yeah.
Turturro.
That's one of his people too.
That's one of his regulars.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of his
But,
people.
Yeah.
still,
And it said
and
Roger
John
Smith was in
Turturro
there
is a
too,
huge
but-
star. But
Mhm.
to her point, that is a great point. That like, so we're talking about like two. This is good because we're talking about like two different types of directing.
Right.
Smooth is really alluding to like visual, like
Yeah.
shots and guerrilla style. I'm
Mhm.
alluding to putting a story together and making the story tight.
Right.
Nargis is talking about working with like
The cast.
leaning-
Mhm.
like
What
you
you
could
working
just
with.
lean on Denzel.
Yeah.
Plenty of
And I think
directors have
that-
had Denzel. Plenty of directors, real quick, Pete, I'm gonna just jump. Plenty of directors have leaned and just had Denzel in their movie and just leaned on Denzel. And it's
Yeah.
been like a good Denzel performance, but a bad movie. Gladiator is a good example of that. Gladiator 2,
Yeah.
great example of that. Denzel kicked ass. The rest of the movie is like, right? So that's great on Spike. That's Spike making sure that like Ray Allen stands out just as much
Right.
as Denzel Washington. Go ahead,
Right.
Pete. I mean, cut you.
Right. No. And I agree with all that. And I just say that I also, as far as the Inside Man goes, just the depth of character. I think like what we were saying, like to see Denzel take a departure from other films and like you said, not just carry himself as Denzel. Like that character was completely nuanced from things that we had seen from him before.
Mhm.
You know, so like I said, not to
Yeah.
take it like I completely agree with everything about Malcolm X, like 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that element of depth of character and all of those things is, where I lean with that.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna get ready to wrap up. We've been going at this for a minute, and it's cool because the audience gets to decide
For sure.
who stays and who
Yay.
goes on this one. We're
Well,
really different.
One last point though.
Yes, please go for it.
I think all characters have yeah, nigga. Yeah, LT.
LT
I
is
think
so funny.
all characters
One
all-
last thing.
one thing.
Hey, LT,
yeah,
in
let's-
the 90s. Go ahead.
all characters have like sometimes have a conflicted part in their storyline. But those three characters, I think, have very interesting conflictions in terms of like how they are managing their day to day. So aside, so with Malcolm X, him, being Detroit Red and then going to jail and having to, get himself together. That conflict will come out of conflict, but then also going to another conflict in the second part of life, right? Of like,
Right.
this one really need to be teaching. Inside Man, he was a very complicated character as well.
Yeah.
He it's kind of like you know what I mean? What's that joke y'all be talking about with Chris? Damn it, Hayes.
I did not listen to that joke.
Hey, no, that's a funny. That was a funny one. He said,
Yeah,
like,
he was like, damn it, put the Vangela down. Oh, Henri, put the bottle down, Hayes.
Right.
Get yourself together.
Hayes, you know, Hayes. Right, McNulty and shit. You know what I mean?
McNulty like shit.
McNulty, yeah. Then he got game, like you said, that redemption piece. It was kind of like he was trying to get out of this hole. He was trying to make up for lost time with his son.
Yeah, and for killing his mom. Right.
Yeah.
Murderer.
Wait, did he slap her? He slap her?
Yeah,
He
fell and hit her
He pushed
head.
her.
Yeah.
That's the stove's fault.
Because he was drunk.
Yeah, but the stove shouldn't have been there. The stove shouldn't have been there. If it wasn't there, then somebody should be all right.
Oh, well, had he
No
not,
one is agreeing
had
with
he,
you.
had he
The
not,
audience
had
is
he
gonna
not
love that
had he not
response.
shoved her, that wouldn't have
just
happened.
letting you know.
Look what you made me do.
Right, exactly.
Face
Exactly.
ass. Get out of here.
The stove.
Yeah, darn,
Officers,
darn,
the stove did it.
darn bullet.
Right. Damn that stove, officers. Arrest it now. Yeah, man. That's all, man. It was just a great conflict.
definitely.
I feel like Spike's able to pull out of those characters, that conflict piece.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really is able to really sell the story.
Yeah.
And with
Spike can be hit or miss. I mean, I'll be honest. You know what I mean? Spike, especially latter Spike, we mentioned some of the bad movies. He can be hit or miss, but when he hits and when he's on,
he's on.
It's really great. Wait, did you you did mention the bad ones. You did.
yeah, I mentioned the bad ones. And all the
Red
ones.
Hook Summer was
That's the one I was trying to
Red
remember.
Summer was not.
that was interesting.
That's the one I was trying.
Yeah.
That movie was
based off
awful.
a true story or some shit.
Another movie
Man.
that made me uncomfortable.
See, and Spike.
I don't like this feeling.
I'm gonna do a wrap up real quick, just in case. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, you choose. Let us know in the comments below what movie would you pick? Inside Man, Malcolm X,
Let us know.
He got
or
game.
He Got Game. Thank you. See, we
Yeah.
keep talking about all these Spike movies I can't even remember.
And
Right.
please keep your comments kind, people.
Hey, man.
I know that Paul
That's not
and I know Paul and Brother Smooth seem really Thomish right now.
I'm ready for it.
He's keeping
I'm
comments
ready
nice.
for it.
Quite coonish.
I'm ready for
Kind
it.
of coonish.
The Sambo and the Coon.
It's a sound argument. It's just not an
Yeah.
argument I agree with.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of MSR. Beautiful people, we appreciate you. We rolling. It's been a month, y'all. It's been a month.
Doing our thing.
We're out here working for us. Working for the
Dang.
people.
Damn, time is flying, man. I'm happy. I'm loving this though, man. I'm really into this one, man. Again, shouts out to the fam over here at Ideaplex. Shouts out to Ox for dealing with us and working with us.
Thank
man.
you so
It's
much,
dope.
brother.
Shouts to Ron, LT on the boards doing his
You
thing.
know.
man.
Nargis.
Shouts to Nargis. You know what I mean? We
shout
gotta
out.
get Nargis up here. So
We do.
You already
we do.
know.
we gotta
Gotta
get a
up here.
chair. You can sit.
You gotta come up here and say young.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got. Hey, young. Young. I found this video of Nargis years ago. She was like in the woods or something.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Oh,
she was
the,
like
the bear joint.
the bear joke. Yeah, so
Yes.
Nargis was like, if I can find it, we'll put it up. Nargis was in the woods and she was like, "Hey, young, I just seen a bear, young. Hey, young."
Oh, Nuggets, we love you.
But with bears.
Yeah.
Probably karate chopped it
She
up.
probably, but she didn't
Exactly.
tell us is that she mopped that bear up good. The bear's
Right.
still laid out there right there.
Body chopped this shit out.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
And made
All
it
right.
show.
All right, man. Follow us, MSR Tribe on Instagram, MSR Tribe on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok, the MSR Pod. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Do all of that stuff. If you're listening on podcast, remember to rate and review the show. Okay. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, be great.
Elevate us.
We up out of here.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.